Good morning all. So to this next weekend's racing action then, and an anti-post quick look ahead to what is some cracking racing again at the likes of Newbury, York and over at Ireland with the Irish Oaks at the Curragh. But the main betting heat of this Saturday, this weekend, is the John Smith's Cup at York, which is always a very, very competitive handicap. Not quite as valuable, sadly, this year as what it sometimes is. But that won't put off Connections trying to win it, of course. You look back through the roll call of this particular race, actually, and you'd think it would be cherry ripe for young progressive stayers, upcoming and in the making. But actually, you go back through and it's a bunch of hard-knocking handicappers that seem to have won it. But I think that there is a horse this year that's going to buck that trend. And it's a horse trained by Roger Varian called Fifth Position, who is 8-1 with Bet365 and Sky Bet as I speak. A horse that's had 2 starts this year as a 4-year-old. They've both been massively eye-catching to me. On seasonal debut at Newcastle over the inadequate mile, he went from the front end and tried to gallop them on remorselessly, but was just done for a bit of pace, I think, in the closing stages by the likes of Sabuska and Dark Vision. Now those two have gone on to win at Royal Ascot, of course, and Sabuska ran a cracker again at the weekend. So it's really strong form. And then Fifth Position went to Doncaster over 2 furlongs further on his last start and won with a fair amount up his sleeve. I think Andrea Zini dropped him right on the line. He's a big, long, galloping sort who I think York will suit. There's an extra half furlong here, and he's long been sort of in my notebook for a race such as this nature. The times of his races this year have been good as well. He just looks incredibly solid for the race. It's very hard to imagine him out of the shake-up, granted a bit of luck in running. And at 8-1, I think he's a great price to take right now for a horse that has the best form, is sharply progressive, and could improve quite markedly for this particular test. So that's Fifth Position in the John Smith's Cup at 8-1 with Bet365 and Sky Bet. There are some dangers there. Obviously, John Gosden's Harrovian won last time out, but I just wonder if he's quite as potentially as good and as straightforward as Fifth Position. A few other horses, the likes of Solid Stone, have won, and Desert Lad have won quite nicely last time out, but they were lesser races. And if there was one maybe at a huge price each way now, who might well still be a big price on the day, it's Yukon Glen for Jim Goldie, who won the race 2 years ago actually, but has been eye-catching in 2 runs so far this campaign. I do wonder if he'll have as easy a time on the front end as what he did when winning the race 2 years ago. There's 1 or 2 other pace setters in here, the likes of Sky Defender for Mark Johnson and 1 or 2 others. So he still might run well at a decent price though. But the main selection definitely is Fifth Position, 8-1 with Bet365 and Sky Bet for the John Smith's Cup. And obviously there's some action elsewhere at the likes of Newbury and the Curragh as well. There's some horses that I do think could be potentially well suited to the races they're entered in. But they do have multiple entries, some of them at this stage, and aren't confirmed runners. So I'll keep them in my pocket for now, and we'll see maybe later on in the week with them. But I do really like Fifth Position for the John Smith's Cup, so that's the main anti-post bet of the week. Okay, good luck.